Hi guys, today I have a really special and important guest with me. This is my mom, Susan. You want to say hi?
Hi.
And she has been a dancer, a teacher, a businesswoman, and today I really wanted her to come on and share some of her experience with us. We were talking earlier about dieting, about perfectionism, and you said something really profound that we were talking about perfect weight, perfect for family. Do you remember what we were talking about at all?
No, not specifically. I just remember telling you that when I was young, I was a perfectionist. Everything always had to be perfect. I always had to be perfect. I came from a relatively big family where everybody was always making my parents nuts, and to avoid having anybody unhappy with me, because I didn't find that acceptable, I always was trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I realized when I had my own children that that really wasn't a very smart way to live, that it wasn't productive, and it didn't,
Right.
it made everything harder on everybody, not just me, obviously.
How did it make things harder on everyone?
Well, if something wasn't perfect, I'd get upset. When your mother is upset at you or your father is upset at you, that's a very uncomfortable feeling, even if they're not upset at you, just that they're upset. My motivation was always to do everything to make them less upset. I was 1 out of 4, and so that was one of my goals, was always to strive to reduce the tension. Creating tension in a family is not a good thing.
Not a good thing?
Yeah.
So one of your motivating factors then in life when you were growing up was to kind of be I use the word people pleaser, but just to kind of keep the peace,
Yes.
make sure that everybody's happy
Right.
and do your best.
Right, that was my job. I thought
you
that was
could.
my job.
Right. And what did that do for you growing up?
I don't really know. I was very happy as a child. I didn't have any apparent issues, except that maybe I developed an intolerance for having people not happy with me. You can't make everybody happy all the time. That's just not realistic. So if anybody did get upset with me, that was like really, really hard. But the worst was really with the kid when you were children. And if I'd get upset because you did something for me and it wasn't up to my standard, and you were like a 4 or 5-year-old child, that I should get upset about, that was completely unacceptable. And that's when I understood that really nobody cared that you were perfect.
Right. So that's great. That's a great realization, because I think that a lot of food relationship, it comes from stress, and trying to be perfect is absolutely one of those things that can stress us out and bring us to a tub of ice cream, right? Or to a tub of peanut butter, right? And bread and things like that.
With a jar of jam.
With a jar.
Peanut butter with a
You
jar
can't
of
do the peanut butter without the jam in our family. Just don't do
it's
that.
not as good.
And that is definitely something that I experienced, growing up. And I love that we're having this conversation. This is really nice, and kind of I know it's a vulnerable conversation, but you're like, whatever.
Not really,
so much.
because it is what it is, and I'm old enough now to understand and accept that it is what it is. I've done the best I could till now. Hopefully, I'm always going to be able to do a little bit better,
Right.
to fix those things which I don't like anymore that I did. Toward food is one thing.
Right. So that's definitely something that I grew up with too, and I love that when you had kids is when you realized that it wasn't serving anyone, because it took that to realize that it wasn't serving anyone.
Well, it took your vulnerability to highlight it for me, because it was important to me that my friends should be happy, but never as important as for you. There you are.
Sorry, sticky. I'm wearing lip gloss.
Okay.
Thank you. So, you grew up with your own food journey, and, my mom was this woman right here, has been my rock throughout my entire food journey. And my biggest supporter. She came to Weight Watchers with me and did it with me when I was about 11 years old. And that was essential for me, because starting your own journey into weight loss and into a better and healthier relationship with food alone is really, really hard. I know a lot of people who are trying to do that for themselves, right? But their family is totally unsupportive.
Yeah.
So, can you share a little bit with us, how, like, what was it like as a mom supporting me on my journey while you were on your own with all the past experience that you've had?
Well, I was very pleased. I don't know if you remember when you said you wanted to go to Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers for us, living in a snowbound environment for 6 months of the year, meant a lot of extra work. It meant picking you up from school, taking the other one home, taking you to Weight Watchers, cooking a certain way, eating a certain way, shopping a certain way. It affected, not necessarily change, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it affected everything. And so it made it more complicated, and I was working. So it was even more complicated. However, I was very proud of you that at 11, you were driven to deal with something that I didn't even begin to properly deal with until I was 30. So I was proud of you for that, and I felt that. And I was difficult at the beginning. I said to you, well, you have to be sure and you have to make a commitment. And I didn't just say, oh, sure, let's go.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember that
part. We wrote down an agreement, and we said, this is what we're going to do. And you signed it. And are you sure? Because I wasn't going to make myself crazier for something that was going to last for, 2 weeks with you. So you knew that you had to do this, but I think you were very driven. And I felt like, I was an enabler. I could help you make it happen. I couldn't do it for you.
Yeah.
Right? I couldn't change everything you put in your mouth. I wasn't with you every minute of every day. You were 11. You were going to friends' houses. You were out. I mean, you had allowance. You could buy whatever you wanted. So I was not going to be in control of your weight. But if you wanted to try to take control of it, I felt very happy to do it with you, so long as you had a serious commitment to it. And you did. And we went for, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, I went for a long time.
Like 3 years, I think, before we came here.
Yeah.
And we just did it. We did it religiously. We did it all the time. We kept those journals. We marked everything down. And it was a team thing. Which was also very good. Because usually you don't discuss these things with other people. Philosophically, I think that this is something you're doing for you and you should keep it to yourself. So if you're disappointed, you don't have to share that with everybody. You're disappointed in yourself or you don't reach your goal. You came home from camp one summer and some guy had gone to fat camp and he was really slim. And you came back and said, oh, Mommy, Jolie or somebody,
I don't remember.
Joelle, lost all this weight. He went to fat camp and he looked amazing. And I said, well, this was September. We could work to that.
Side note, fat camp equals weight loss camp.
That's what you called it when you were
That's what I called it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that I was going to say, it took a lot of vulnerability from me, because there I was pretty young saying to my parents, like, I want to be put into this environment with these people who all have this common goal, because I don't feel right in myself anymore. Yet. I don't feel right in my body yet. And yes, I was driven. And that probably helped me get to you guys, that helped me build up the courage to come and ask for that. And then I even remember we had to, Dad wasn't so on board with it for a while. He's like, why do you need to do that? You're not fat. And it wasn't about actually being fat. There were tons of people there who were regular, normal weight, and they were great. It was really about the environment. It was about the common goal. And we were just talking about a team doing it together and being able to talk to somebody about going through that journey and relate and get that support. And that's something that is huge. And I always encourage the people who I get a chance and opportunity to work with, I always encourage them to build their own support team around them so that they have someone to do this with. I'm very grateful that I was able to do this with you and start my journey with you, and I know that your journey started way back when you were 18.
But this was a great part of my journey. This is a wonderful part of and it still is. Yeah. We still talk about it, don't we?
Yeah. We still talk about it all the time.
Because we're evolving, we're changing, and the food thing changes, but it's change to a much better place. Well, being open to change is also a vulnerability. Most people are horrified by change. They don't want, even if they're not happy how things are, they're even more scared of the change, more frightened of and what does that mean to try soy milk? I mean, how dangerous could that be? Or women my age shouldn't be drinking soy milk probably, but so almond milk or coconut milk, or what is the threat to your existence to try to do something different if it possibly could make you feel better?
Yeah. And how do you feel now compared to even just a few years ago?
Oh, like I'm way better. I'm just way better. I feel better.
Yeah.
I'm way older. But I do feel better. I like the way I feel most of the time. And I like the way I look most of the time, as much as one can at a certain point in one's life. And that's just another reality.
That's
So we're
another
always getting used to, always trying to get used to something new. And the fact is that things change whether you want them to or not. And so dealing with that and accepting and receiving potential changes in a positive way can only be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
There you go.
Any last words before we sign off?
No.
Thank you so much for being on.
Eat well, drink well, be happy.
Eat well, drink well, be happy.
Yeah.
Is what she just said. Yeah. What do you mean by drink well?
Bourbon, scotch. What do I mean by what? By drink
well? You said it. You already said it.
Water.
Water.
Drink water.
Not bourbon and scotch.
Not the rest of it. Well, once in a while, that's okay. I don't happen to like it myself, but it's, that's okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for being here. See you soon. And please share this with your friends. Share it in a post. Reach out to me if you have any questions about what you've seen today. And follow us on YouTube. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I am on Twitter. So there are so many reasons to reach out to me. And I would love to hear from you. So thank you for watching. And we will see you soon.
Just like yours, except for this.
It is just like mine. Profile. Look at me.
We're good like that.
Profile. Looks good.
Are you taking a picture of this?
Yeah.
Okay.